Well, I had been involved in the community over the years in different organizations, worked in different campaigns, and when that position came open, the District 19 seat was open, there were many people that said to me, you should run. You should run. I had thought about possibly at some point doing that, but it was one of those things that a group of people came together and said, this is a good time, you should do this. And they were committed and supportive, and here I am.
And have you enjoyed your time in the House?
I really have. Have I been frustrated some days? Yes, but I really do enjoy. And it's not always the bills that I get passed as much as it is being able to open the door for a family or an individual who faced a challenge getting some information from the Department of Human Resources or from mental health. Being able to open those doors for individuals have made a big difference, and it's made a difference in the lives of the families that have made that request.
Now the House has been functioning, from the outside looking in, the House functions pretty well.
It does.
You folks pass legislation, you get your business done.
That's right.
The Senate has not looked so good the last few years. Why would you feel that you can be more effective in the Senate than you are now in the House?
Well, I do think that it is an opportunity I was a classroom teacher for a number of years, and I think I bring some civility and respect. And I would like to believe that one of the things that I think is critical in any organization where there are differences is the ability to communicate. I think even if I disagree with individuals, I am certainly able to sit and talk through the issues and still then leave the table and we go on. If we've come to an agreement, fine. But if not, I'm able to leave that table and not have a negative feeling towards that individual.
What are the issues that you think are critical or most important for your district, for District 7?
The district, I think the critical issues are certainly always education and making sure that we have well-educated individuals to meet the workforce requirements that exist. I think that is the foundation of everything that we do, making sure that our constituents are well-educated and also to the point that they're able to address the employment shortages that exist within the area. The other thing that I think is so critical is that we also need to look at education in such a way that we're not pitting K-12 against higher ed. We need both of them. We need K-12 to be able to go to higher ed, and we need higher ed available for K-12 when we've educated them. That to me is significant. The other is looking at the businesses. Small businesses are the foundation for jobs that exist within any community, and certainly within this district. And so I think it is important for us to be able to have businesses. I am looking for and have been talking to individuals about forming a type of task force where we would look at the businesses that exist within the district, have business owners to tell me why they do business in the district, how they're able to maintain their business in the district, and what are the things that we can do to help to improve them. So how do we attract new businesses? What do we do to maintain those businesses? And what can we do to grow those businesses? I think that as a team, talking to individuals and working together, we can come up with those answers.
K-12 versus higher ed, you mentioned that it's not productive to pit those two against each other, but that's happened.
It does. And it happens every year. And even more so when there is a financial crunch, that is a problem. But I think that one of the things, I just think that we have to find a place, find a way for those two entities, K-12 and higher ed, where we can sit at the table and say, we need to be working together as opposed to each other when it comes to funding. Now we know we need the funding for K-12. We know how important it is to have those individuals get a good education and to be able to compete globally. We know the need is great in higher education, But the one thing that we continue to hear is one thing that higher ed has that our students don't have. They have an opportunity to raise tuition, they have foundations, and etc. But my goal is that at some point we are able to sit at the table and develop a plan where we are no longer pitting one against the other.
Do you think that part of the reason we are in a perpetual budget crunch in Alabama is that our tax system is not the best?
Right, but that is, and I think that the issue of dealing with taxes has to come from the leadership. We find so many times we have individuals who are in leadership who says we have enough taxes, we don't need anything else. But I think we have to look at, just as we're talking about constitution reform, I think tax reform, it should be on the table as well.
What is your position on constitutional reform?
I support constitution reform.
Would you support a convention?
I support the convention.
And a vote of the people?
And a vote of the people.
That has not always been your position. What has changed your mind?
Well, let me tell you, I was not opposed to Constitution Convention, but when the hearing was held in Montgomery, the individuals that came to the hearing were not people that appeared to be sensitive to making the kinds of changes that I felt was going to move the state forward. And that was and I served as chair of the caucus at that time. And the caucus position was, until we find a way to assure that there is going to be equal representation and diversity, then that was the caucus position, was to be opposed to it.
And now you feel that those concerns are...
Well, we've had many discussions. We've had many discussions, and there are still some members that feel that that may not be the case. But we've had many discussions about this. As a matter of fact, Demetrius Newton has sponsored that bill each year for the last 2 or 3 years. This year he has a resolution, which I'm a co-sponsor, which is probably one of the best methods by which to at least get some additional discussion on that bill.
What about open government issues, like things like ethics reform, things like campaign finance reform, Jeff McLaughlin's PAC-to-PAC transfer ban? Where do you stand on things like that?
I support it. We just voted on the PAC-to-PAC. Each time he's brought that bill, I've supported it. We had a bill in judiciary dealing with allowing the ethics commissions subpoena power. It came out of committee on last Wednesday. I support that, yes.
And you would accept PAC money?
Oh,
You've
sure.
You've accepted PAC money in the past?
I have, yes.
No problem with that.
But I think, the thing that I hear from people is when you accept PAC money, that means you are beholden to individuals or groups. And I think if you would check with individuals that are in Montgomery, you will find that I am an independent thinker. And I try to look at the issues as they are presented as opposed to who's bringing the issue.